Hello everyone, welcome back to another lesson with us here at English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're going back to school.
That's right. We're talking about my least favorite subject.
That would be math.
That's right.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about math. Now, I know that many of you, of course, know math.
Right.
But do you know the operations in English?
Many people find it hard to find the right words to talk about math in English.
Right? So that's what we're going to be looking at today.
And we'll also look at some names that you can call people who are really, really, really smart.
So let's listen to our dialogue for the first time, and then we'll come back and look at those math words.
All right, children, let's review. Tommy, pay attention.
Sorry, Miss Cadlick.
Okay, Crystal, now tell me. What's 4 plus 11?
15.
Miss Cadlick always asks Crystal. She's such a teacher's pet.
Okay, and what about 56 minus 60?
-4.
Very good. 12 times 12?
Very good. Suck up.
144.
0 divided by 1?
0.
How did you know that? Okay, smarty pants. The square root of 2.
Bet you're not going to get that one, know-it-all.
1.4142135.
All right, so that's one smart little girl, huh?
Yeah, pretty smart. Actually, smarter than me in math.
All right, so let's take a look at some of those words that the teacher used to ask her about certain operations in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, so like we said, you guys know how to do math and you know the words in your language, but maybe in English it's a little bit harder to find the right word. So let's look at those now.
Okay, so let's look at the first question that she asked. What's 4 plus 11?
4 plus 11.
Okay, plus.
Plus.
All right. So 4 plus 11, Erica, is?
Let me take a look at here. 15.
15. Okay, so we are adding, right?
Yes.
So that's how you would say. Let's go with an easy one. 2 plus 2.
4.
4, right?
Yep.
Or 5 plus 5.
10.
10. Okay.
You're really testing my skills.
So that's how you would add numbers.
Now, what about taking away numbers?
Okay. So taking away or subtracting. All right, let's test you again. In the dialogue, she said 56 minus 60.
56 minus 60 equals -4.
Okay, minus. So that's negative, right?
Minus.
So, and of course, if you have 56 apples and you take away 60, you are left with
-4.
Negative
well,
4.
actually, you're left with 0 apples.
Yeah, exactly. Now, that answer is also interesting. -4.
-4.
That means minus 4, right?
4 less than 0.
4 less than 0. Very good. -4. Okay, so now for our next operation. 12 times 12.
12 times 12.
12 times 12.
Now, Marco, don't ask me the answer.
All right, 12 times 12 equals 144. Now, that's multiplying.
Right, or multiplication.
Multiplication. Okay, so this times part, it's very easy to remember because, for example, 4 times 4. You can just say 4, the number 4, and you add it, right?
4 times.
4 times. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4.
Right, so times.
Times. Uh-huh.
Now, the opposite of times.
All right, the opposite of multiplication is division.
Division.
Okay, so in our dialogue, the teacher said 0 divided by 1.
0 divided by 1.
0 divided by 1. Any number divided by 0 is 0.
All right, so let's give another example. 15 divided by 3.
All right, so 15 divided by 3 equals
5.
5. Exactly.
So divided by.
Divided by. Very good. So after division, the teacher was very impressed, and now she asked a very hard mathematical operation, especially for a girl this age. The square root of 2.
The square root of.
Square root.
So let's give some examples to show what is the square root.
Okay. So if I ask you the square root of 9.
3.
3, right?
Yes.
What about the square root of 4?
2.
2. Okay. So now one more. The square root of 16.
4.
4. Okay, so you notice the pattern, right? And I'm sure everyone knows this in their own language, how you would get a square root.
Exactly. So this language is pretty simple. You all know it in your own language, but let's hear it again in English one more time with the dialogue.
All right, children, let's review. Tommy, pay attention.
Sorry, Miss Cadlick.
Okay, Crystal, now tell me. What's 4 plus 11? 15.
Miss Cadlick always asks Crystal. She's such a teacher's pet.
Okay, and what about 56 minus 60? Negative 4. Very good. 12 times 12?
Very good. Suck up.
144. 0 divided by 1?
0.
How did you know that? Okay, smarty pants. The square root of 2.
Bet you're not going to get that one, know-it-all.
1.4142135.
Okay, so we understand the mathematical operations that we saw here. Very easy. But now there was another little kid in there who was very, I think, envious or jealous.
Yeah, Tommy.
Tommy, right? So he called her a couple of different names.
Well, let's look at those now in Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
Okay, so the first one that he called Crystal, the little girl, he called her a teacher's pet.
Teacher's pet.
Teacher's pet.
A teacher's pet.
So, Erica, what exactly is a teacher's pet?
It is the favorite student the teacher has in that class.
All right, so it's always the student that's helping the teacher.
Yeah, the smartest student.
Yeah. The teacher's pet.
Yeah, and it has a negative meaning in English.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's a good thing to be the teacher's pet.
Like the teacher thinks it's good.
Yeah.
But all of the friends and the classmates, they think it's bad.
Yeah, exactly. Teacher's pet.
And similar to teacher's pet is a suck up.
Suck up.
Suck up.
Again, suck up. What is this? What is a suck up?
A suck up is a person who tries really, really hard to make the teacher like him.
Okay, now we can also use it outside of the classroom, right?
Yeah, at work, maybe.
Okay, there is always at work, there is always one person who's the suck up, right?
Yes. Now, again, this has a negative meaning in English.
Yeah, I guess in the workplace, the rest of your colleagues don't really like that person who's considered to be the suck up, who's always trying to please the boss.
Exactly.
All right.
All right, so the teacher calls Crystal a smarty pants.
Smarty pants.
Smarty pants.
Okay, so this is also a little name calling, right? So what is a smarty pants?
Somebody who is too smart.
Too smart.
Who tries too hard to be smart.
Now, this is only for little kids, right? I wouldn't call you a smarty pants. Right?
No, it's definitely for children. Adults don't say this.
Unless maybe you are joking or having fun with someone.
Yeah, but if you say it, you are suggesting that you're being like a child.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, smarty pants. And our last one, and this is also a very good phrase and a way to describe someone, know-it-all.
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 A know-it-all.
Sometimes you say Mr. Know-it-all, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so what is a know-it-all?
Somebody who tries to show everyone that they know it all.
They know everything.
Yeah, they're so smart.
They have the answers to everything.
But they really, really try and show everyone that they know everything.
These people can be sometimes a little bit irritating, right?
Yeah, very, very annoying.
Annoying.
Yeah.
All right, so it's not a good thing to be a know-it-all all the time.
Yeah, actually, all of these phrases are not good things to be.
Okay, so let's listen to our dialogue one more time, and then we're going to come back, and Eric is going to tell us how much she hates math.
All right, children, let's review. Tommy, pay attention.
Sorry, Miss Cadlick.
Okay, Crystal, now tell me. What's 4 plus 11?
15.
Miss Cadlick always asks Crystal. She's such a teacher's pet.
Okay, and what about 56 minus 60?
-4.
Very good. 12 times 12?
Very good. Suck up.
144.
0 divided by 1?
0.
How did you know that? Okay, smarty pants. The square root of 2.
Bet you're not going to get that one, know-it-all.
1.4142135.
All right, so Erica, you were telling me that you hated math, or you still do.
Well, yes, that's true. I really do hate math, and even doing a simple, like 16 plus 32 is too hard for me.
So you were never really that type of person that's good with numbers.
No, I'm terrible with numbers. I can't even remember my own phone number.
Really?
That's true. Like, I really, if someone asks me for my phone number, I have to look on my phone in the address book to find it.
Well, yeah, sometimes numbers can be difficult. I kind of liked math when I was younger. It just made sense. So
Well, I guess there's a reason why I'm an English teacher and
Yeah.
not a math teacher.
And I was actually not very good at language.
But here you are.
Exactly. Well, I mean, in Spanish, I like grammar.
Oh.
Not very good at that. All those rules.
Yeah, but you're pretty good at English, so that's all right with
That's
me.
all right.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Tell us what your favorite subject or your least favorite subject in school was. What about you? Do you have any favorite subject? Or did you have a favorite subject?
History.
History.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I liked chemistry for a
Oh,
while.
God. Chemistry involves numbers.
Well, a little bit, but
Yeah.
it was interesting as well.
So come to the website, everyone, englishpod.com, and you can find lots of other resources there.
And also be sure to check out our activity stream where you can answer and ask very quick questions depending on your level. So you can choose if you're an elementary student, then you would be talking to other elementaries.
That's right. Well, thanks for downloading this lesson, and until next time, goodbye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Go over what has been learned.
Review.
Add.
Plus.
The student a teacher likes best.
Teacher's pet.
Take away. Subtract.
Minus.
To multiply.
Times.
A person who always tries to make the teacher or boss like him or her.
Suck up.
Separate to some parts.
Divided by.
A person who tries to show he is so smart.
Smarty pants.
The number obtained when a number is multiplied by itself.
Square root.
I think something is likely to happen.
I'll bet.
The person claims or pretends to know everything.
Know it all.
A math problem where each side is equal.
Equation.
A mathematical process such as adding, multiplying, subtracting, etc.
Operation.
The process of adding a number to itself a certain number of times.
Multiplication.
The process of adding two numbers together.
Addition.
The process of taking one number away from another.
Subtraction.
The process of dividing something into parts.
Division.
Let's try that faster. The number obtained when a number is multiplied by itself.
Square root.
The process of dividing something into parts.
Division.
A person who tries to show he is so smart.
Smarty pants.
A math problem where each side is equal.
Equation.
To multiply.
Times.
Take away. Subtract.
Minus.
The student a teacher likes best.
Teacher's pet.
Go over what has been learned.
Review.
Add.
Plus.
I think something is likely to happen.
I'll bet.
The process of adding a number to itself a certain number of times.
Multiplication.
The person claims or pretends to know everything.
Know it all.
A person who always tries to make the teacher or boss like him or her.
Suck up.
Separate to some parts.
Divided by.
The process of taking one number away from another.
Subtraction.
A mathematical process such as adding, multiplying, subtracting, etc.
Operation.
The process of adding two numbers together.
Addition.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Plus. Everyone knows that 2 plus 2 equals 4. Plus. We need 5 tickets plus an extra one for John. Plus. I have $2,000 in my bank account plus an extra $500 under my bed. Minus. The ticket costs $100 minus a 10% discount. Minus. I don't understand this. Do you know what 1 minus 1 equals? Minus. There were 5 cans of tuna here minus 2 that I ate this morning. Where are the rest? Divided by. To solve this problem, you'll need to divide the number of days in a year by the number of days worked. Divided by. I weigh 140 pounds, so if I divide that by 2.2, I will know my weight in kilograms. Divided by. I don't think we have enough food. We only have 2 pizzas and we need to divide them by 20 people. Mommy, everyone at school says I'm a teacher's pet. There was a kid that used to bring my teacher an apple every day. He was such a teacher's pet. I always hated the kid that was the teacher's pet. He would always get more attention. Suck up. We have a colleague at work who's the biggest suck up. He's always being nice to our boss. Suck up. I hate it when someone tries to suck up to you just because you work with Britney Spears. Suck up. There is a job opening next month for a managerial position. I think I'm going to have to act like a suck up to get that job.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another great lesson here with us at English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're going to be in one of my favorite sporting events, which is
F1, of course.
F1 racing.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about racing, specifically F1, which is a very popular sport all over the world.
Yeah, I think maybe it's like number 2 in popularity after soccer.
Yeah, I think so.
I have no numbers to back that up, though.
Well, they do travel everywhere. They have races all over the world, and just people love it. So,
Well, it is kind of a cool thing.
going 300 kilometers per hour in a car is pretty cool. All right, so let's not delay this any longer. Let's listen to our dialogue for the first time.
Welcome back, racing fans. My name is Rick Fields, and as always, I'm joined by my partner in crime, Bob Copeland.
We're in the last stretch of this very exciting race, and Kimi Raikkonen is leading the pack with only 4 laps to go. They're heading to turn 3, and Lewis Hamilton tries to pass Raikkonen. It's a close one, and oh no! Hamilton hits the wall.
He came in too fast, jammed on the brakes, and spun out. We have yellow flag, and the pace car is making its way into the track.
The cleanup crew is towing the heavily damaged car, and the green flag drops. Raikkonen is still in the lead with only 2 laps to go.
Smoke is coming out of his car! He seems to be having engine trouble. He makes his way under the pit, and Fernando Alonso takes the lead!
How unlucky for Raikkonen, and this race is over, ladies and gentlemen. Alonso takes the checkered flag.
What an exciting race. I always love a good crash when it comes to car races.
I think many people go to races expecting to see a crash. They don't want to see people getting hurt.
No, but a little bit of...
Like the emotion of just car crashes and stuff.
yeah, a little explosion here and there.
All right. So now we saw some really exciting language related to racing. So why don't we look at that now in language takeaway?
Language takeaway.
All right, so we were talking about that crash, and I think what led to the crash was the driver jammed on the brakes.
Right. He jammed on the brakes.
To jam on the brakes.
Okay. Now, if I jam on the brakes,
You push the brakes really, really hard and really quickly and really suddenly.
right, so you jam on the brakes and you stop very quickly. So Lewis Hamilton jammed on the brakes and consequently spun out.
To spin out.
Okay, in the present, it would be spin out.
Spin out.
Okay, so imagine yourselves driving your car on a very wet road.
And then you jam on the brakes.
Right. So then the car, you kind of lose control of the car and it starts to spin.
It goes in circles.
Uh-huh. That would be to spin out.
This has actually happened to me more than once.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you okay?
Yeah, I was fine. I was fine.
Okay. So the car spun out. Now, in racing, you always see this really cool car come out and be ahead of everyone when there's an accident.
Right. That's called the pace car.
The pace car.
Pace car.
Now, why is it called the pace car?
Because it sets the pace.
Okay, the pace or the speed.
So pace means speed.
Uh-huh. So this car comes out and no other car can pass it. Everyone must go at the same speed.
Right. The pace car.
Pace car.
All right. So after there's an accident, the cleanup crew must come out.
Okay, cleanup crew.
Cleanup crew.
All right, so crew, this is an interesting word.
When we talk about a crew, we talk about a group of people who work together.
Okay, but for example, in an office, can I have a crew?
Not really.
Not commonly, right?
Yeah, it's people who work together and they use their hands to work. They do manual labor.
Okay, so I can say, for example, a construction crew.
That's right. Or maybe the ground crew at the airport.
Okay, or the flight crew.
Also at the airport.
All right.
Well, in the airplane.
So that's a crew.
So cleanup crew.
Cleanup crew. Now, they came out to take that car away, that broken or damaged vehicle, so they were towing it.
Tow.
Okay, the verb to tow.
To tow.
So what does it mean when you tow something or you tow a car?
You pull something behind you. So if you're a truck, that might pull a car behind you. That's a tow truck.
A tow truck. Now this happens commonly if you park your vehicle where you are not supposed to.
That's right. And your car will get towed.
Your car gets towed.
Yep.
Very good. All right, so we saw 5 really great words related to racing. And now, why don't we listen to our dialogue again, and then we'll look at some other interesting phrases.
Welcome back, race fans. My name is Rick Fields, and as always, I'm joined by my partner in crime, Bob Copeland.
We're in the last stretch of this very exciting race, and Kimi Raikkonen is leading the pack with only 4 laps to go. They are heading to turn 3, and Lewis Hamilton tries to pass Raikkonen. It's a close one, and oh no, Hamilton hits the wall.
He came in too fast, jammed on the brakes, and spun out. We have a yellow flag, and the pace car is making its way onto the track.
The cleanup crew is towing the heavily damaged car, and the green flag drops. Raikkonen is still in the lead with only 2 laps to go.
Smoke is coming out of his car. He seems to be having engine trouble. He makes his way into the pit, and Fernando Alonso takes the lead.
How unlucky for Raikkonen. And this race is over, ladies and gentlemen. Alonso takes the checkered flag.
Okay, so now we're back, and I think it's time for us to take a look at some phrases in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Well, even though we're talking about F1 racing, a lot of the language can be used in many different situations. So let's look at some of those phrases now. When Rick Fields introduced his co-host, he said, "My partner in crime."
Partner in crime.
Partner in crime.
Now, it's not that they're actually committing a crime.
No, they're not actually bank robbers.
But it's a very common and friendly way of saying my good friend or
The person I do everything with.
right, my coworker, for example, right?
But a coworker who's a really, really good friend, who you spend a lot of time with.
Okay, so that's your partner in crime. It's just a metaphor, right? So partner in crime. Now, what about the next phrase?
The last stretch.
The last stretch.
Last stretch.
Okay, before we explain this word, let's listen to some examples and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Example 1. We are finally in the last stretch of a very long week. I can't wait to go home. Example 2.
He's in the last stretch of his college years, and soon he'll graduate.
Okay, so I understand that to mean like the final length of time.
Right, the last or final moments before an ending.
All right, so the last stretch.
The last stretch.
Now, when you're on the last stretch, you just have a few minutes to go.
To go.
Yeah, to go.
Now, this preposition to and the verb go is very easy, right?
Right.
But if you say 5 minutes to go, what does that mean?
5 minutes left.
Left.
Yep.
It doesn't mean it's 5 minutes to actually leave, right?
Right. No, it means you must complete 5 minutes before you can be finished.
Okay.
So it's not about exiting.
Right. I have 5 days to go before I go on vacation.
So it's not about you actually going on the vacation. It's about you passing those 5 days.
Uh-huh. Can you give us another example?
How about we have 45 minutes to go before the end of the day?
That's right. So, to go, left.
Exactly, to go.
All right, now let's take a look at our last phrase. Close one.
A close one.
A close one.
All right, another interesting phrase made up of simple words. So let's listen to some examples to help us understand it.
Example 1. That was a close one. The teacher almost caught me cheating. Example 2.
It's a close one. We are tied and the game is almost over.
Example 3.
My girlfriend almost found the presents I hid under the bed. It was a close one.
Okay, so a close one, it means...
A situation that is almost dangerous, but wasn't.
But wasn't.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was a close one. Mm-hmm. Okay. So very good phrases. I think we can take a lot from this and apply it outside of F1, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's listen to the dialogue for the last time, and then we'll come back and talk about this great sport.
Welcome back, racing fans. My name is Rick Fields, and as always, I'm joined by my partner in crime, Bob Copeland.
We're in the last stretch of this very exciting race, and Kimi Raikkonen is leading the pack with only 4 laps to go. They're heading to turn 3, and Lewis Hamilton tries to pass Raikkonen. It's a close one, and oh no! Hamilton hits the wall.
He came in too fast, jammed on the brakes, and spun out. We have a yellow flag, and the pace car is making its way onto the track.
The cleanup crew is towing the heavily damaged car and the green flag drops. Raikkonen is still in the lead with only 2 laps to go.
Smoke is coming out of his car. He seems to be having engine trouble. He makes his way under the pit, and Fernando Alonso takes the lead.
How unlucky for Raikkonen, and this race is over, ladies and gentlemen. Alonso takes the checkered flag.
All right, so F1 racing, Erica, do you like it? Do you watch it?
Yeah, F1's pretty neat. Cars that drive fast, that's pretty interesting.
Well, for some people it isn't, right? Like, why do I want to go to a race and just see fast cars?
Okay,
pass
I would
by?
never go to a race, but I think I would maybe watch the highlights on TV.
Well, actually, this year it's really exciting because, again, we're going to have a night race. I think it's in Malaysia or somewhere in Asia that they're going to race at night.
Oh, so that's pretty special, huh?
Well, it's like harder to see and you're going really fast.
All right.
Imagine.
All right. So I hear you're going to the F1 this year.
Yes, this year I'm going to go to the Shanghai circuit to watch the F1 race. So I'm really excited about that. I haven't ever been to one, so it should be fun.
All right. Well, I hope you get to see some interesting things like car crashes and pace cars. Yeah. What about you guys, our listeners? Are you fans of F1? Have you ever been to an F1 race?
Exactly. Send us your questions and comments and also your stories. I think we have listeners from all over the world. We have a lot of listeners in Brazil, and I know that there is a Grand Prix there. So tell us, how did it go? Do you like it?
You can visit us at englishpod.com, where Marco and I are around to answer your questions.
All right. Any Canadian race car drivers?
Yeah, there was one recently. Something.
All right. Maybe our users know which one is the Canadian. So we'll see you guys there.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A person you always do things together with.
Partner in crime.
The final time period.
Stretch.
Left to complete.
To go.
Hit or step on the brakes quickly and forcefully.
Jam on the brakes.
A car slides and makes a turn rapidly in an uncontrolled way.
Spin out.
The car used when accidents happen, which leads other cars but is not a competitor in the race.
Pace car.
The sign used in an F1 race to show that there is an accident on some part of the track.
Yellow flag.
The group of people who clean up the track.
Cleanup crew.
The sign used in an F1 race to show that the race is now back to the normal state.
Green flag.
To be the first in position.
Take the lead.
A flag with black and white squares showing someone has won.
Checkered flag.
Cause an engine to run very quickly.
Rev.
The status of winning a championship in a sport.
Title.
The quality of moving easily through the air.
Aerodynamic.
A person who loves cars and racing. American English.
Motorhead.
The race that determines who will be able to participate in the main race.
Qualifying round.
The front position in a car race.
Pole position. Let's try that faster.
Cause an engine to run very quickly.
Rev.
The sign used in an F1 race to show that there is an accident on some part of the track.
Yellow flag.
Left to complete.
To go.
The race that determines who will be able to participate in the main race.
Qualifying round.
A person who loves cars and racing. American English.
Motorhead.
To be the first in position.
Take the lead.
The status of winning a championship in a sport.
Title.
The quality of moving easily through the air.
Aerodynamic.
The group of people who clean up the track.
Cleanup crew.
The car used when accidents happen, which leads other cars but is not a competitor in the race.
Pace car.
A flag with black and white squares showing someone has won.
Checkered flag.
The front position in a car race.
Pole position.
Hit or step on the brakes quickly and forcefully.
Jam on the brakes.
The sign used in an F1 race to show that the race is now back to the normal state.
Green flag.
A car slides and makes a turn rapidly in an uncontrolled way.
Spin out.
A person you always do things together with.
Partner in crime.
The final time period.
Stretch.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Jam on the brakes. You shouldn't jam on the brakes suddenly while driving. You can lose control of your car. Jam on the brakes. He was really angry and jammed on the brakes and ordered me to get out of the car. Jam on the brakes. There was an accident right in front of me. Luckily, I jammed on the brakes and was able to avoid it. That was a close one. The teacher almost caught me cheating. It's a close one. We are tied and the game is almost over. My girlfriend almost found the presents I hid under the bed. It was a close one. To go. Only 3 days to go and then we are going on vacation. To go. I have another 15 minutes to go before I can go home. To go. I'm so excited. Only 1 month to go until my new baby is born. I managed to make my way through the crowd and go into the concert. There was a lot of security at the concert, but I managed to make my way onto the stage. She was able to make her way onto the train. You can't park here or your car will be towed by the police. My car broke down last night, so I had to call someone to come and tow my car. I can't believe they towed my car away. I was parked there for only a few minutes.
Hello, English learners. Welcome back to another lesson with us here at English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're going to be talking about physics.
That's right. An advanced lesson for all you physics lovers out there. And even for those of you who maybe don't love physics so much, there's still some great language here.
Right, we're going to be talking about the Big Bang Theory, a very popular theory of how the universe or the world and how we came upon being created.
That's right. So we've got some physics language, but we've also got some really tough words that I bet many of our users have never seen before, which we're going to look at those in this lesson.
All right, so why don't we get started with this great and interesting lesson, and let's listen to the dialogue for the first time.
What's up? You don't look too good.
Yeah, my head hurts, that's all. I've been in physics class all day. It's killer.
I liked physics. It's all math, really. Arcs, curves, velocity. Cool stuff.
Yeah. But today's lesson was all about the creation of the universe.
A physics class about the creation of the universe? That's some pretty unscientific language there. It sounds more religious to me.
It's all religion. Take the theory of the Big Bang. How is it possible that all of the stuff in the universe comes from an explosion? That's no better than Atlas carrying the globe on his back or African myths about turtles and stuff.
Turtles? Whatever. Look. All that's required for the creation of matter is an imbalance of particles and antiparticles. At least that's what the math says.
Math schmath. What's the evidence?
There is evidence. You know Edwin Hubble, the guy who in the early 20th century was the first scientist to measure the drift of matter in the universe, thus advancing notions of an expanding universe. What would it be expanding from? Well, the Big Bang, duh.
Anyway, it's just a theory. Why do people go around touting theories? Where's the rigor in that?
Dude, don't equivocate. A theory only becomes a theory after withstanding rigorous testing. You slept through class, didn't you?
You're making my head hurt again. Quit with the question.
Well, it sure does sound like a difficult class, doesn't it?
It's a very interesting topic and very controversial, so there are many opinions on it. But before we get into that, why don't we take a look at some of those physics-related words that we listen to in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
We've got 4 words we've heard in the dialogue that are all related to physics. So let's start with the first one, which is matter.
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 Okay, so you probably know this word from what's the matter, what's
Right.
wrong.
Yep.
In this case, we're talking about matter, so anything that occupies space, that has a mass, or that is related to energy. So matter.
So all things in the world are made up of matter, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Now let's move on to another one.
Particles.
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 Now, particles are a little bit more... Now, particles are a little bit easier. They're just very small pieces of a whole.
An apple is made up of apple particles?
Something like that. You can, if you want to understand it easily, apple has many small particles that make up the apple.
So, let's paint a picture here. Imagine we've got a beach, and all the pieces of sand are particles of the beach.
Exactly. Very good. So those are particles.
Now, the next one is a little bit difficult for me. I don't understand this. Antiparticles.
All right. So antiparticles.
Antiparticles.
Now, this prefix, anti, it means something that is against, right?
Right. And I've seen this one in anti-clockwise.
All right. So antiparticles are those that are against particles. So basically, if you have a particle that has a positive charge and another one comes in with a negative charge in the same weight and the same type of particle, if they get together, they cancel each other out and they both die.
Oh.
So that's an antiparticle.
All right. Well, you heard it first here at English Pod.
So antiparticles are not a good thing to have around.
Now, we also heard them talk about the drift of matter.
Right. Drift of matter.
Drift of matter.
Also sometimes called drift of dark matter.
Okay, well, I know the verb to drift, right? To sort of float away on the sea.
Right. If you have a little ship, you leave it on the beach, it'll drift away. It'll go slowly away.
Yeah. But what about drift of matter?
So basically, the drift of matter is this residue, the remains of the Big Bang, of the explosion.
Okay.
So matter and radiation keeps on drifting through the universe.
So it's moving slowly through the universe.
Moving slowly. So this big explosion, and just consider it to be like this ripple, and it's expanding and expanding. That's the drift of matter.
All right. Well, I learned something else today.
some very specific words related to physics, but it's very interesting. Once you get into reading about these things, it will help you to understand it better.
That's right. But we've also got some non-physics related language that we want to look at now in Language Takeaway Part 2.
The drift of matter and how it's drifting through the universe. And then he said, thus advancing the notions of an expanding universe.
So I want to look at the phrase, thus advancing notions.
Thus advancing notions.
Okay, let's start with the first word here, thus.
Okay, so this is a good connector.
Or conjunction.
Or conjunction. And basically it means...
Therefore.
Therefore or in consequence,
yeah.
Right?
So thus advancing notions. Now, notions are ideas.
Right.
And so when you advance notions or advance ideas, you help them make progress. You help them go forward and become known.
Okay. So in order to understand this in the context, they are saying that the drift of matter thus advances notions of an expanding universe. So it is making progress to people believing that the universe is getting bigger.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so interesting phrase. Now, I really like this word thus, and a lot of people are afraid to use it. So why don't we hear a few examples of how it's used in context?
Example 1.
So you can see that we've studied the fossil record, and thus we can conclude that evolution is a fact.
Example 2.
He broke severe company policies, thus we had to fire him.
Example 3.
I did not receive the documents on time, thus I was unable to send them to you.
All right, good examples of thus, and I guess now we can use it a little bit better.
That's right. Now let's move on to our next word. So they were talking about people who go around touting theories.
Tout.
To tout.
Okay, so what does this mean, tout?
Well, basically, when you tout something, you talk about it in a positive way, so as to almost like sell that thing.
Okay.
So, for example, we can say, the company is touting the many benefits of its product.
Okay, very good. So to talk positively about something.
Yeah, with the idea of trying to sell that thing or make people buy into it or believe it.
All right, very good. What about our next word?
Well, we heard two related words in the dialogue. They were talking about where's the rigor in these theories and rigorous testing.
Okay, so what's the difference between rigor and rigorous?
Rigor is the state of being very clear and careful and exact.
Okay.
And rigorous is just the adjective. Clear, careful, attention to detail, and exact.
Okay, very good. So, rigorous training.
I'm going over my notes in rigorous detail.
Okay, very good. And now we have one more word today in Language Takeaway, and that is equivocate.
So we heard, dude, don't equivocate.
Don't equivocate.
Don't equivocate.
All right, so what does he mean by this?
Well, when you equivocate, you use big words to try and mislead somebody.
Okay, so using big words to confuse or to mislead.
Yep. So, for example, we could say the job candidate, we could say, when asked about his experience, the job candidate equivocated.
Okay.
Or even the presidential nominee did not equivocate when he explained his tax policy.
All right, so some good examples, good phrases, a lot of interesting stuff, and a little bit more educational podcast today.
That's right. So let's continue with our education by listening to the dialogue one last time.
What's up? You don't look too good.
Yeah, my head hurts, that's all. I've been in physics class all day. It's killer.
I liked physics. It's all math, really. Arcs, curves, velocity. Cool stuff.
Yeah. But today's lesson was all about the creation of the universe.
A physics class about the creation of the universe? That's some pretty unscientific language there. It sounds more religious to me.
It's all religion. Take the theory of the Big Bang. How is it possible that all of the stuff in the universe comes from an explosion? That's no better than Atlas carrying the globe on his back or African myths about turtles and stuff.
Turtles? Whatever. Look. All that's required for the creation of matter is an imbalance of particles and antiparticles. At least, that's what the math says.
Math schmath. What's the evidence?
There is evidence. You know Edwin Hubble, the guy who in the early 20th century was the first scientist to measure the drift of matter in the universe, thus advancing notions of an expanding universe. What would it be expanding from? Well, the Big Bang, duh.
Anyway, it's just a theory. Why do people go around touting theories? Where's the rigor in that?
Dude, don't equivocate. A theory only becomes a theory after withstanding rigorous testing. You slept through class, didn't you?
You're making my head hurt again. Quit with the question.
All right, so the Big Bang Theory, very controversial. In some schools in the United States, they have prohibited the teachers from teaching it.
I know, which seems quite interesting to me. But it is actually very controversial, and people can get really, really upset about this in America.
So it is an interesting topic. Take it from the point of view of just something else, maybe just to learn a little bit more about this topic, such as physics, right?
Right. But there's something that is uncontroversial that I did want to talk about now that we heard in the dialogue. There's a lot of really interesting sort of slang words here in the dialogue, isn't there?
Yeah, we heard in the first part of the dialogue when he said, "I've been in physics class all day. Killer."
Killer.
So what does he mean by killer?
Oh, he's just basically saying it's really hard. You know, it's like it's so difficult that it's murderous.
It was intense.
Yep. But this word we can use positively as well, can't we?
Yeah, I guess you could say that was a killer party.
Yeah, killer moves on the dance floor.
Okay.
Another interesting thing is that he said math schmath.
Now, schmath isn't really a word.
No, but this is a really common structure we use in English when we want to sort of take away from the importance of an idea.
Okay, so you're saying it's not important, I don't care about it, or it's not worth it.
Yeah, so for example, I'm on a diet.
Right, and I would say diet, schmayet.
Yeah.
So basically, the structure is just added sh and then just kind of make it rhyme.
Yeah.
Schmayet, or like
work schmirk.
Yeah, work schmirk, or something like that.
Yeah.
So you're just making fun of it and you're taking away importance.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat phrase. And one more. We heard them say duh.
Duh.
So when we say this, we're just saying like, you should know this, stupid.
Yeah, this is obvious.
Yep.
It's kind of making fun of the person, or
Yeah.
just saying it's so obvious, how can you not know it?
Yeah.
And it always goes either at the beginning or at the end of a sentence.
Yeah, so duh, Marco, we're recording a podcast.
Right. Very good. So some great words and phrases in this dialogue, and a little bit of slang as well, so you can use it maybe with your friends.
That's right. If you have any questions about the language in this dialogue, or any thoughts on physics or the Big Bang Theory, come and check out our website at englishpod.com.
All right. We'll see you guys there. And until next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
What is happening? An informal greeting.
What's up?
Something that is extremely difficult to deal with or withstand.
Killer.
A set of statements or principles devised to explain a group of facts or phenomena.
Theory.
The theory that a cosmic explosion caused the origin of the universe.
Big Bang.
The substance of which something is made. Material.
Matter.
The situation where there is an unequal amount of different things.
Imbalance.
Any one tiny part of matter.
Particle.
A particle that has the same mass as another particle but has opposite values for its other properties.
Antiparticle.
Ideas or concepts.
Notion.
A state of something being very exact.
Rigor.
Use vague language so as to deceive someone.
Equivocate.
Surviving a difficult experience or trouble.
Withstand.
The scientific study of matter in outer space, especially the positions, dimensions, distribution, motion, composition, energy, and evolution of celestial bodies and phenomenon.
Astronomy.
A region of space resulting from the collapse of a star with extremely high gravitational field.
Black hole.
A small, faint, very dense star.
White dwarf.
The tendency of all matter and energy in the universe to evolve toward a state of inert uniformity.
Entropy.
A point of infinite density and infinitesimal volume at which space and time become infinitely distorted, according to the theory of general relativity.
Singularity.
A seemingly contradictory statement that may nonetheless be true.
Paradox. Let's try that faster.
The substance of which something is made. Material.
Matter.
Surviving a difficult experience or trouble.
Withstand.
Use vague language so as to deceive someone.
Equivocate.
A particle that has the same mass as another particle but has opposite values for its other properties.
Antiparticle.
Any one tiny part of matter.
Particle.
The situation where there is an unequal amount of different things.
Imbalance.
A set of statements or principles devised to explain a group of facts or phenomena.
Theory.
The scientific study of matter in outer space, especially the positions, dimensions, distribution, motion, composition, energy, and evolution of celestial bodies and phenomenon.
Astronomy.
A point of infinite density and infinitesimal volume at which space and time become infinitely distorted, according to the theory of general relativity.
Singularity.
A small, faint, very dense star.
White dwarf.
The theory that a cosmic explosion caused the origin of the universe.
Big Bang.
A seemingly contradictory statement that may nonetheless be true.
Paradox.
What is happening? An informal greeting.
What's up?
Ideas or concepts.
Notion.
The tendency of all matter and energy in the universe to evolve toward a state of inert uniformity.
Entropy.
Something that is extremely difficult to deal with or withstand.
Killer.
A state of something being very exact.
Rigor.
A region of space resulting from the collapse of a star with extremely high gravitational field.
Black hole. Now say the word and hear it in a sentence. So you can see that we've studied the fossil record, and thus we can conclude that evolution is a fact. He broke severe company policies, thus we had to fire him. I did not receive the documents on time, thus I was unable to send them to you. But we examined the data rigorously. How can there be an error? It's simply not possible. Don't worry, the nuclear reactor went through rigorous testing, so we can be sure that it is safe. She is a professor who is known for her scientific rigor. The dieting experts are touting the benefits of the latest weight loss program, but I think it's just a fad. This drug is being touted as a miracle cure. The release of the much-touted web browser will revolutionize the way you use the internet. Equivocate. When asked about his plan for cutting taxes, the presidential candidate did not equivocate. Equivocate. In the interview, when I asked him about why he left his last job, he started to equivocate. Equivocate. Stop equivocating. Tell me clearly what you mean. Notion. Where did you get this notion that the sun travels around the earth? Notion. Scientists are advancing the notion that socialization plays a role in language learning. Notion. That's an absurd notion. It's absolutely not true.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine. So, Marco, what are we talking about here today?
Today, we're going shopping again.
We go shopping a lot here in English Pod, but this is an upper intermediate level lesson, so we've got some very specific terminology to cover.
Exactly. We're going shopping for a digital camera, so we're going to be talking about very specific, maybe a little bit technical vocab related to this very fascinating and expensive product.
All right, I'm very excited. I recently purchased a camera, but we won't talk about that yet. Let's take a listen to the dialogue for the first time, and when we come back, we can talk about some of the really interesting details.
Hello, ma'am. Can I help you find something?
Yes, actually. I'm looking to buy a camera.
We've got a wide selection. Do you know if you'd like a point and shoot or something a little fancier? Are you shopping for yourself or for someone else?
Actually, I'm buying a camera for my husband.
Ah, well then I'd recommend a nice entry-level digital SLR.
Yeah? Can I take a look at the SLRs you carry?
Sure thing, follow me. This here is
the Canon EOS. Yeah, it's okay, but I'm looking for something that performs better in low light, has a better display panel and longer battery life.
Oh, the Nikon D60 is a nice option?
Yeah, but what kit lens does this camera come with? I don't want some bulky telephoto lens.
Well, this one has the,
Looks to me like an 18 to 55mm lens. Pretty standard. That'll do. Not like my husband will be stalking celebrities or anything.
So, can I interest you in any
accessories? Do you carry polarizing filters?
Polarizing filters? We should. I'm sorry, ma'am. Looks like we're sold out.
No, you're not. There are some right here.
Oh, well, would you look at that? Polarizing.
Like I said, but there are some very important words that anyone who wants to buy a camera should know before they go into the store. And these are common across the board. So let's take a look at these in today's language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so in language takeaway today, we have our first difference. Now, it's very important to know the difference between point and shoot camera and the digital SLR.
Okay, so digital, everyone knows digital now, right? That's the kind of photography we have. You don't use film, okay? It uses a memory card to record digital images. But point and shoot are those little cameras where you just click and it takes a picture. There's no lens, there's no additional lens, there's no special add-ons. It's a small rectangle and you just take normal pictures. And that's the kind of camera that like my mom uses.
Like
and that,
everyone usually
I have it in my
those.
purse and whatever. It's just easy to use. But the digital SLR is a kind of camera that's like the old SLR where you have an attachment of you have a body and you have a lens and they're just much fancier and you have to do a lot more on your own to make a nice picture.
Now, SLR, that's an acronym. Do you know what it stands for?
So an SLR is a single lens reflex camera. And that means that there's a lot more you have to do as the photographer to make sure that the picture comes out well.
Right. So it's really interesting because you can actually play with the lens, like the focus and, how much light you want to allow it to go in. And there's a lot of really, sometimes a little bit difficult things that not many people understand.
Exactly. And so I think that's why it's good to do some research before you buy one, because there's so many differences across the different cameras.
Okay, now both on digital SLRs and on point-and-shoot cameras, you have something that's called a display panel.
That's right. So a display panel is usually covered in plastic, and it's the area that tells you how many pictures you've taken, how many pictures you can take, if the flash is on, if you're doing an automatic setting. So it's like the little computer monitor that tells you what's going on with the camera.
Usually after you take a picture, you can also see how it came out, right, in that moment.
Exactly. And so a lot of times with these fancy cameras, you want to know how big the display panel is, and how good the quality is in the display panel. Because obviously if you take a picture and it shows up bad in the display panel, you want to take a new one.
Right.
But what if it's the display panel that's broken?
Right. Okay, very good. And that's actually one of the great advantages of digital cameras, that you can actually see how your picture looks like.
Exactly.
In that moment.
Instant gratification.
Nice. All right, now when she was looking to buy this digital SLR, she mentioned something about a kit lens.
Okay, this is fancy camera terminology, right? Because if you buy a point and shoot, there's no lens. It's just the camera. But if you're buying a fancy digital SLR, you can buy the body, which means the machine, but there's no lens. So normally stores will sell cameras with a kit lens. That means they make a kit, or they make a combination for you.
So it's the body and the lens.
Exactly.
But if you want, you can buy the body and the lens separate. Maybe you want a really fancy lens.
Exactly. So what's the kind of fancy lens we might buy?
A telephoto lens.
Ooh, so these are the really big lenses for super close-up shots from a distance, right? So you think of maybe professional photographers or photojournalists who have these kind of lenses. They're big and they're bulky and they're not for traveling.
Usually you see them in like sporting events, right? They're on the side of the field and they have these big white, they're usually white lenses on their cameras. So you can actually take a very close picture of the action that's far away.
Exactly. And it's really good for those kind of things where you have action or where you're trying to get close-ups.
And now if one of these accessories that could go well with a telephoto lens or any digital SLR is a polarizing filter.
Okay, so filter is something that takes certain elements out of something else. So we can filter coffee, for example, and it takes the coffee grounds out and leaves the water. But in a camera, a polarizing filter is something we put onto the glass of the lens to change the way that light goes into the lens.
Okay. So in this way, you take a picture maybe of a very sunny day and it will look differently if you didn't have this filter.
Exactly. And you can also have a UV filter, which does similar things with UV rays in the sunlight. And these are just filters or things you put on the camera, and polarizing means that you're splitting up, right, the kind of light that goes in.
Okay, very good. Very technical terms, and but they're very useful, especially if you're looking to buy one of these cameras and you're not very familiar with the terms. But why don't we move on now to some very interesting phrases that we saw in the dialogue on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
All right, so on Fluency Builder, our first phrase today is entry level. What's an entry level digital SLR?
Okay, well, entry level is something that we can use for any kind of purchase, so any kind of thing that we buy. In the case of a camera, an entry level is not for an expert or professional. It's something for someone who's buying one for the first time.
So like for beginners.
For beginners. So entry level is like entry, beginning, starting. We can have an entry level job where you don't need training or experience, right? An entry-level camera where you don't need long experience with fancy cameras.
Or training to know how to use it. Okay, very good. So that's an entry-level camera, but as you mentioned, we can also use it for the job, an entry-level job position. All right, what about our second phrase?
Okay, so this one goes with the telephoto lens, right? She says, I don't need a telephoto lens. My husband doesn't need a telephoto lens. It's not like he's going to be stalking celebrities.
Okay, so we have this verb here, to stalk.
To stalk, that means to follow someone around.
Okay.
And to look at them and to watch them and to not leave them alone.
Now, she mentioned this because this is a very, very interesting and closely associated topic with photographers. You know, you have the paparazzi who follow celebrities, and they have these big telephoto lens so they can take pictures of celebrities without them knowing.
Exactly. And so you imagine someone in a tree with a big telephoto lens taking a photo of someone famous who's, half a mile away. And stalking celebrities is something that's a bad thing, right?
Yeah, it's bad.
But it's very
also
common.
illegal, I think.
And I think it's illegal. Yeah.
All right. And what about our last phrase?
Would you look at that?
Well, he said it in a very surprised tone, right? Kind of like he didn't really expect to find the polarizing filters.
Right, so he's embarrassed, okay? Would you look at that means, oh, wow, I'm surprised.
Right.
Right, so it's awkward, right? So you could say, Marco, you got a little bit of food on your shirt. You've had it for like an hour.
Oh, my God. Would you look at that? Oh, the
That's
beans
really,
I had.
That's really embarrassing. I've got food on my,
on my shirt.
So this man who works at the store, he's embarrassed because he didn't know something he should know.
Okay.
And so he says, oh, would you look at that? How funny. I didn't see those.
Now, we can also maybe use it in a sarcastic tone, right? If I tell somebody, can you bring me my glasses that are on the table? And they're like, I can't find them. They're not here. And then I find them. Would you look at that? Here they are. Right?
On your head the whole time. That's my mom. Would you look at that? I was wearing my glasses the whole time.
All right. Very good. So why don't we listen to the dialogue for the last time, and we'll be back to talk about digital SLRs.
Hello, ma'am. Can I help you find something?
Yes, actually, I'm looking to buy a camera.
We've got a wide selection. Do you know if you'd like a point and shoot or something a little fancier? Are you shopping for yourself or for someone else?
Actually, I'm buying a camera for my husband.
Ah, well then I'd recommend a nice entry-level digital SLR.
Yeah? Can I take a look at the SLRs you carry?
Sure thing, follow me. This here is
the Canon EOS. Yeah, it's okay, but I'm looking for something that performs better in low light, has a better display panel, and longer battery life.
Oh, the Nikon D60 is a nice option?
Yeah, but what kit lens does this camera come with? I don't want some bulky telephoto lens.
Well, this one has the,
Looks to me like an 18 to 55mm lens. Pretty standard. That'll do. Not like my husband will be stalking celebrities or anything.
So, can I interest you in any
accessories? Do you carry polarizing filters?
Polarizing filters? We should. I'm sorry, ma'am. Looks like we're sold out.
No, you're not. There are some right here.
Oh, well, would you look at that? Polarizing filters.
Thanks for your help, Ralph.
No problem, ma'am.
All right, we're back. So you mentioned you recently bought a digital SLR camera. How's that working out?
I'm loving it. I have to actually train myself on how to use it because I used to have an old film camera that had, it was actually a Nikon as well. And it's different using a digital SLR. There's a lot of things you can do that are very fancy because you actually there's a computer inside essentially. So it's I'm getting used to it. It's fun.
And what about the difference in pictures, like from a point and shoot to a digital SLR? Does it really make a great difference? Are you very happy with it?
There is a big difference, and part of the difference is that you can control every aspect of the photo, okay? So my digital camera was a small little Canon, you know, the little what are they called? The power shoot. And it took great pictures because, you know, these cameras have amazing pixel quality, right? They have like 7.1 megapixels or like 9.1 megapixels. So the quality is really good, but everything looks the same. If I have my digital camera, my digital SLR, I can frame a shot and I can focus on one person but make everyone else blurry.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
I can really make more artistic photos, whereas the point and shoot is great for parties and for
just like everyday stuff.
Everyday stuff, exactly.
Now, what about traveling? You have a dilemma there, right? Because you visit very beautiful places where you would love to take very nice pictures with a digital SLR, but at the same time, the inconvenience of actually, because they're pretty big, all of them are pretty big. So where would you go on that? Would you use the point and shoot or the digital SLR?
Well, that's a good question. One of the reasons that I picked the lens that I did is because it's not immense. But I really want to be able to do some like landscape photography, and I travel a lot, so I think it's worthwhile to suck it up and just take the camera, because otherwise, why did you buy it, right?
Yeah, that's true. All right, so an interesting topic here on English Pod, and I'm sure a lot of our users travel around, like to take pictures, or maybe are experts on digital photography. So why don't you come to the website englishpod.com? We'll see you there, and until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Any compact, non-SLR camera with non-interchangeable lenses, using automatic settings and simplified controls. Generally desired by novices and casual users. Point and shoot. Try to persuade someone to buy, do, or eat something. Interest someone in. A transparent optical device used to converge or diverge transmitted light and to form images. Lens. A camera lens filter used to control the plane of polarization of light entering the lens. Polarizing filter. Simple and appropriate to an inexperienced person. Entry level.
Let's try that faster.
Simple and appropriate to an inexperienced person. Entry level. A camera lens filter used to control the plane of polarization of light entering the lens. Polarizing filter.
And today we're going to be bringing you another great lesson, one of the lessons that you requested.
Yes, that's right. Actually, Maxim S requested this one.
Right. I think he's really into research and investigation. So we're bringing you a great lesson about this topic.
Okay, so I'm really excited to hear this dialogue all about research. So why don't we start listening to two university professors discussing an important question.
We've been over this 1,000 times. The data is irrefutable. Look, we've done extensive research, built studies, and read the literature, and there is conclusive evidence to support my theory.
Horowitz, I beg to differ. Even in your most recent study, the investigative approach was flawed. You know as well as I do, the collection of data was not systematic, and there's a large margin of error. To draw a definitive conclusion based on that data would be misleading.
That is preposterous.
You are trying to single-handedly solve one of the world's greatest mysteries, and yet you're oblivious to the fact that you're wrong.
I am not wrong. The chicken came first.
No! The egg came first!
The chicken.
Egg!
The chicken.
The egg!
The chicken.
The egg!
All right, so interesting. Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
It's an age-old question, isn't it?
And apparently, they are not going to agree anytime soon.
All right, well, what they can agree about is this awesome language. So why don't we take a look at it now in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, on Language Takeaway today, we have some really great words, and this first one is really good. Irrefutable.
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 The data is irrefutable.
Okay, so if the professor says that the data is irrefutable, what does he mean by that?
He's saying that you cannot deny it. It is really, really true.
It is really true. There is no way this is a lie.
Exactly.
Okay. Irrefutable evidence, for example.
Yeah, that's a great phrase. All right, so the professor complained that Dr. Horowitz's experiment was flawed.
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 So, flawed. Is that an adjective, a verb, or a noun?
It is an adjective here. Now, when something is flawed, there is a problem with it, right?
Okay,
There's
so
a
it has
mistake.
an error.
Yep.
Okay. So this adjective is a way of saying that his experiment has a flaw.
A mistake.
A mistake.
Exactly.
So flawed is the adjective of a flaw.
Right.
Okay.
Now, the reason that his study or his experiment was flawed is because that it was not systematic.
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 So systematic. That's an interesting word.
Now, I think we can recognize the word system in here, right?
Right.
So when something is systematic, it follows a process.
A certain order.
Yes, a certain system.
Right. So that's basically what systematic means, to follow a certain order, to be more organized, right?
Exactly, yep.
Okay. And what about our next word?
Preposterous.
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 That is preposterous.
I love this phrase.
It usually goes together, right? That is preposterous.
Yep.
Okay, so what does it mean when I say that?
It means it's absurd. It's ridiculous.
Right. It doesn't make sense. I can't believe you said that.
All right. Well, this is a really interesting phrase, but I think it's a little bit more common when it's used by older people.
Yeah, I don't really see a young person going up to someone and say, hey, that's preposterous.
Yeah, but it is a wonderful phrase. Now, our final phrase for takeaway, oblivious.
Oblivious.
You're oblivious to the fact.
So a person that is oblivious to something.
They don't know, or they're unaware.
Okay, so they ignore maybe the facts, or
Exactly.
they don't see it.
Yeah, you're oblivious to the fact that we're in a recession.
Okay, or he is completely oblivious. You can just say it like that, right?
Yep, he doesn't know.
Okay, so we took a look at some of the great vocabulary we found in the dialogue, but there were also some really good phrases that I think we should look at.
Okay, and let's take a look at those and putting it together.
Putting it together.
You know, Marco, one of the things I love about English is the way that words seem to fit together, like blocks coming together. And here we have a lot of great examples of these words that fit together really nicely. Okay, so why don't we look at those? And our first one now is extensive research.
Extensive research.
Extensive research.
All right, so we know extensive means
a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
So that's really good when you put it together. Extensive research. It means you have
a lot of research.
You have really studied. You have really looked things up. Okay, extensive research.
Another great research-related phrase here is conclusive evidence.
Conclusive evidence.
Conclusive evidence.
All right, now the first word there, conclusive.
When something is conclusive, you can't argue with it. It's the final decision. All right, well, the professor complained that Horowitz's investigative approach was flawed, right? So this is our next phrase, investigative approach.
Investigative approach.
Investigative approach.
Okay, so I remember the word investigate is a verb.
Yes.
But in this case, it's an
adjective.
It's an adjective.
When something is investigative, it's obviously having to do with
an investigation. So the approach so when he said investigative approach,
just simply the way you investigate the problem.
The way he investigated. Okay. Very interesting. What about this other phrase that I saw? It was really interesting. Definitive conclusion.
Definitive conclusion.
So a definitive conclusion.
All right. Well, again, I think we know the word conclusion, right?
Okay.
So it's a final judgment or decision.
All right.
When something is definitive, you can't argue with it or change it.
Okay. So the conclusion or the final result is is final. Like, there is no way of arguing it.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Definitive conclusion.
This is some great language. So why don't we listen to it one more time in the dialogue?
We've been over this 1,000 times. The data is irrefutable. Look, we've done extensive research, built studies, and read the literature, and there is conclusive evidence to support my theory.
Horowitz, I beg to differ. Even in your most recent study, the investigative approach was flawed. You know as well as I do, the collection of data was not systematic, and there's a large margin of error. To draw a definitive conclusion based on that data would be misleading.
That is preposterous.
You are trying to single-handedly solve one of the world's greatest mysteries, and yet you're oblivious to the fact that you're wrong.
I am not wrong. The chicken came first.
No! The egg came first!
The chicken.
Egg!
The chicken.
The egg!
The chicken.
The egg!
So, an interesting question. What do you think? What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Well, if you ask me, it was the egg.
It was the egg?
Yeah.
Interesting. What about why did the chicken cross the road?
To get to the other side.
Do you think that's really the reason?
Well, there's a million different reasons, but this is great. I'm glad you brought that up because this is like the classic English joke.
The classic English joke, right? Why did the chicken cross the road? And the answer is always...
Well, there are a million answers. So, do you guys know any chicken jokes?
Yeah, why don't you come to our website, englishpod.com, and on the comments section, why don't you leave us your thoughts on what came first, the chicken or the egg, and why do you think the chicken crossed the road?
Research. Research is the process of finding new information, answering questions, and solving problems. It helps people learn more about the world and make better decisions. Research is used in many fields, such as science, medicine, business, and education. Students, teachers, scientists, and professionals all use research to improve their knowledge and understanding. Why is research important? Research is important because it helps people gain knowledge. Without research, we would not know about history, medicine, technology, or the universe. Research helps doctors find new treatments for diseases. Scientists discover new planets. And businesses understand what customers want. It also helps students learn and develop new ideas. Research allows people to solve problems. For example, if a city has too much traffic, research can help find ways to reduce congestion. If a company wants to sell a new product, research can show what customers need. In education, research helps teachers find better ways to teach students. Types of research. Research is done in many different fields and for different reasons. The way research is conducted depends on the goal, the subject, and the methods used. Some research is based on experiments, while others rely on studying past information. Here are some of the main types of research. Scientific research. Scientific research focuses on understanding the natural world, technology, medicine, and human health. Scientists perform experiments, collect data, and analyze results to discover new knowledge. For example, medical researchers study diseases to find new treatments, while physicists explore the laws of the universe. This type of research helps improve medicine, technology, and our understanding of the environment. Historical research. Historical research is the study of past events, people, and cultures. Historians look at old books, letters, newspapers, and artifacts to learn about history. This research helps people understand how societies have changed over time and how past decisions influence the present. For example, researchers study ancient civilizations to learn how they lived, what they believed, and how they built cities. Social research. Social research focuses on human behavior, cultures, and societies. Sociologists and psychologists study how people interact, what influences their decisions, and how societies change. This type of research helps improve education, economics, and social policies. For example, researchers study how children learn in different environments or how people react to advertisements. Market research. Market research is done by businesses to understand customer needs, preferences, and behaviors. Companies collect information through surveys, interviews, and product testing. This research helps businesses create better products, improve customer service, and increase sales. For example, a company may research which colors people prefer for a new smartphone or what type of food is most popular in a certain area. Educational research. Educational research helps improve teaching methods and learning experiences. Teachers and researchers study how students learn, which teaching techniques are most effective, and how technology can support education. This type of research helps schools develop better curriculums and improve student performance. For example, researchers may study whether online learning is as effective as classroom learning. Medical research. Medical research helps doctors and scientists find new ways to treat and prevent diseases. This type of research includes testing new medicines, studying viruses, and improving surgical techniques. It helps save lives and improve the quality of healthcare. For example, researchers work to develop vaccines for new diseases and find better treatments for cancer. Environmental research. Environmental research focuses on nature, climate, and ecosystems. Scientists study air pollution, deforestation, and global warming to find ways to protect the environment. This type of research helps create solutions for clean energy, water conservation, and wildlife protection. For example, researchers study how plastic pollution affects the ocean and how to reduce it. The research process. The research process is a step-by-step way of finding, analyzing, and understanding information. Good research follows a clear process to ensure accuracy and reliability. Choosing a topic. The first step in research is deciding what to study. Researchers choose a topic based on their interests, current problems, or gaps in knowledge. A good research topic is specific, clear, and meaningful. For example, instead of researching climate change, a researcher may focus on the effects of climate change on Arctic wildlife, gathering information. Once the topic is chosen, researchers collect information from different sources. These sources include books, academic journals, websites, interviews, and past studies. It is important to use reliable sources to ensure the accuracy of the information. Government reports, university studies, and expert interviews are considered trustworthy sources. Asking questions. Research begins with a question that needs an answer. This question helps guide the study and keeps it focused. For example, a researcher studying healthy eating may ask, how does sugar affect children's energy levels? Good research questions help researchers find useful information, conducting experiments and surveys. Some research includes experiments, where scientists test different ideas to see what works. Other research involves surveys, where people answer questions to provide data. For example, a scientist testing a new medicine may compare how two groups of people react to it. A company studying customer behavior may conduct a survey to learn what products people like the most. Analyzing data. After gathering information, researchers study it carefully. They look for patterns, trends, and important facts. This step helps them understand what the information means. For example, if researchers collect data on how much exercise people do in a week, they may find that people who exercise more are healthier. Drawing conclusions. Once the data is analyzed, researchers make conclusions based on their findings. They decide what the information tells them and how it can be used. If the research is about a new medicine, they determine if it is safe and effective. If the research is about education, they see if a teaching method helps students learn better. Sharing results. The final step in the research process is sharing the findings. Researchers write reports, publish articles, or present their results at conferences. This allows others to learn from the research and use it for future studies. Sharing results is important because it helps advance knowledge and solve problems. Challenges in research. Research can be difficult because it takes time, effort, and resources. One challenge is finding accurate and reliable information. Not all sources are trustworthy, and some may contain incorrect or biased information. Researchers must be careful and check multiple sources before making conclusions. Another challenge is time and cost. Research, especially scientific research, can take months or years to complete. Some research needs expensive equipment, travel, or large teams of researchers. Funding from governments, universities, or companies is often required. Ethical issues are another challenge in research. Researchers must follow ethical guidelines to protect people, animals, and the environment. For example, medical researchers must test medicines safely, and social researchers must respect people's privacy. The importance of research. Research is important because it helps people find answers, solve problems, and learn new things. It is used in medicine, business, education, and many other fields. Research improves technology, health, and knowledge. It allows people to make better decisions and develop new ideas. Whether studying history, science, business, or social behavior, research helps expand our understanding of the world. By following a clear process, using reliable sources, and analyzing information carefully, anyone can conduct good research. It is a valuable skill that helps students, professionals, and experts improve their work and make a positive impact on society. Challenges in research. Research can be difficult. One challenge is finding reliable information. Not all sources are trustworthy, and some may contain false or biased information. Researchers must check multiple sources to confirm accuracy. Another challenge is time. Research takes a lot of time, especially when conducting experiments or collecting data. Researchers must be patient and careful in their work. Some research requires funding. Scientific research, for example, often needs expensive equipment and laboratories. Researchers must find financial support from universities, companies, or governments. Ethics in research. Ethics in research means following rules to ensure fairness and honesty. Researchers must not lie about their findings or change data to fit their opinions. They must also respect the rights of people who participate in studies. For example, if a researcher studies human behavior, they must ask for permission from participants and protect their privacy. Scientific researchers must also consider the environment and animals. For example, medical researchers testing new drugs must follow ethical guidelines to ensure safety. Research in everyday life. Research is not just for scientists and students. It is part of everyday life. People do research when they read product reviews before buying something, compare different job opportunities, or look for the best travel destinations. Parents do research to find good schools for their children, and doctors research the best treatments for patients. The internet has made research easier. People can find information quickly with search engines, online libraries, and educational websites. However, it is important to check if the information is true and reliable. The future of research. Research is always changing and improving. Technology has made it easier to find and share information. Artificial intelligence, AI, is helping researchers analyze data faster. Scientists are using advanced tools to explore space, cure diseases, and solve environmental problems. Education is also benefiting from research. Online learning, virtual classrooms, and new teaching methods are improving education worldwide. Research continues to shape the way people learn and communicate. Conclusion. Research is an important part of learning and problem solving. It helps people find answers, make better decisions, and improve the world. Whether studying history, science, business, or health, research provides valuable knowledge. By using reliable sources, following ethical guidelines, and asking good questions, anyone can become a better researcher. Research is not just for experts, it is a skill that everyone can use in daily life.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Correct. Not able to be proved wrong. Irrefutable. Very full and complete study to find information. Extensive research. Using a careful system or method. Systematic. Having errors or mistake. Flawed. Crazy, foolish, or silly. Preposterous. Unaware or don't know. Oblivious to. Way of looking for information. Investigative approach. Do something on your own, without help. Single-handedly. A final judgment that is not able to be changed. That is final. Definitive conclusion. Find out if something is true. Determine. Show something to be true. Indicate. An argument that is capable of making people believe that point of view. A compelling case. A collection of facts that implies or suggests something to be true, but does not prove it. Circumstantial evidence. Linked or connected with. Associated with. Let's try that faster. Unaware or don't know. Oblivious to. Having errors or mistake. Flawed. Find out if something is true. Determine. Correct. Not able to be proved wrong. Irrefutable. A collection of facts that implies or suggests something to be true, but does not prove it. Circumstantial evidence. Way of looking for information. Investigative approach. A final judgment that is not able to be changed. That is final. Definitive conclusion. Very full and complete study to find information. Extensive research. Linked or connected with. Associated with. Show something to be true. Indicate. Using a careful system or method. Systematic. Crazy, foolish, or silly. Preposterous. An argument that is capable of making people believe that point of view. A compelling case. Do something on your own, without help. Single-handedly. Now say the word and hear it in a sentence. Irrefutable. Look, we have irrefutable evidence that he was the killer. Irrefutable. The facts are irrefutable. Smoking has a negative impact on your health. Irrefutable. The irrefutable truth is that there is a monster living in Lake Erie. Systematic. We need to approach this problem in a systematic way. Systematic. We did a systematic evaluation of the evidence. Systematic. He's a very systematic guy. He's very careful with his work. Neil is oblivious to what's going on around him. Are you oblivious to the truth? I was oblivious to the fact that there was a virus on my computer. Definitive conclusion. We have not come to any definitive conclusions yet. Definitive conclusion. Before you make a definitive conclusion, make sure you examine all the evidence. Definitive conclusion. The researchers failed to arrive at any definitive conclusions. We studied the problem carefully, and we found conclusive evidence of global warming. There's no conclusive evidence that links Diet Coke to health problems. There is conclusive evidence showing that smokers die younger.